Google it. Google. That's not what it's called, that's what we're gonna call it. That doesn't even make sense. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I've been completely MIA again. I've actually just gotten over a sick bug, cold. I had it for like 2 weeks. So I don't know if it's really a cold, but I mean, it lasted a really long time. So I'm sorry if I still sound a bit bleh, but you know, I can't leave it any longer. I had to get a video out. So this video right here is all about makeup brushes. About a year ago, I was living on maybe a couple of really crappy face brushes and maybe like a couple of eyeshadow brushes that were also like really crappy as well, like just two flat eyeshadow brushes. So a year ago I'd been seeing like all these pretty makeup looks, and you know, I try and recreate them myself, and it would kind of be okay, but it would actually just be really muddy and really like blur. Maybe it still is, I don't know. Basically, new brushes changed my makeup life, and I can't even put a value on how important makeup brushes are. And they don't have to be expensive, but they do have to do the job for you. And I do find, like anything like makeup, I believe that makeup brushes are going to be quite a unique, personalised thing. Like some brushes are going to work for some people and some brushes aren't going to work for others. Now I'm a student, if you didn't know that. I'm broke as hell. I do everything on the cheap as much as I possibly can. So a lot of all the brushes that I have are really affordable. I have no MAC brushes, I have no Sigma brushes, I have no other fancy Fandangle brushes. All the ones that I have were completely affordable, completely in my price range. Yeah, I guess I better stop blaming and probably just get onto it. I was going to actually like put in a really cool analogy here, like, you know, how could a builder build a house with a saw and using that saw as a hammer, and it just doesn't really work. You couldn't do it. Like, the tools are the most important things that you could ever invest your money in. I always thought it was the product. I always thought, oh, this product's shitty, this product's cheap, it doesn't work. Well actually, now that I've got better brushes, I've actually found that, holy cow, like it doesn't even matter what the price of the product is. You can make a $2 eyeshadow work, or you can make a $80 eyeshadow work. You know, you can make it work as long as you have the brushes that work for you. So let's just start with face brushes that I own and that I have. Now I did clean these a couple days ago, but I've been obviously using them now, so they're not so clean. So my apologies if that grosses you out a wee bit, or just get over it. It's not like bad, it's just the makeup and my face gunk. It's disgusting. No, I wash my face, it's no gunk. Anyway, and I keep them in these cute little thingies here. These thingies here I got from Briscoe's on like really ridiculously sale. They were like $2 each or something ridiculous. But the first brushes that I ever got were the Real Techniques brushes, and these are by a girl called Samantha Chapman. Now I believe she's got like a YouTube channel, or she's like a makeup artist, or just like pretty famous. I can't quite remember, forgive me. Yeah. This was my first real brush set that I ever got, and this started to change my life. Like, especially face brushes. Like, this is my favourite blush brush in the world. It's massive and it's fluffy, and I just love it. And some people haven't enjoyed it that I've seen, but I absolutely love it. It also comes with, I also got a buffing brush, a contour brush, which I love for contouring. This is now my favourite, and also like a foundation brush that is so tiny that I just don't even know what I normally use it for concealer and things like that. So the Real Techniques brush range I purchased from iherb.com, a US company. They ship really quick, really competitive shipping prices, really quite cheap. And the brushes themselves, these were, I can't actually quite remember. They came in a set, so this is like one set, and then there was like an eye brush set. So they come in a set, and I think it was like maybe $30 a set maybe. I think I got like 2 sets and shipping, and it kind of all came to maybe like $60, so it was probably like New Zealand, so it was probably around maybe $30 for a set. But you may be able to find these cheaper. Just Google it and you might be able to find them a little bit cheaper. But these were, I am so happy I started with these brushes. These made me so happy that I started with those. And then the next set of brushes that I got were also really cheap. These were ridiculously cheap. These are the Jessup, I don't know, Jessup branded brushes off ebay.com. I'll try and put all the links down below for all these companies as well. But yeah, it just came with like they were like little kind of synthetic jewel fibre. I think this is a synthetic jewel fibre. I don't know everything. I'm not a professional. I just play it by ear and I just do whatever looks good and I just roll with it. This is the flat top kabuki brush, kabuki buffing brush. I absolutely love this. I use this every single day for my foundation. It works with every single foundation that I've tried it with or owned, and I've got like 10 or so. So I've absolutely really loved this brush. I've washed it a fair few times. No bristles have ever fallen out. I've got one where the bristles are falling out a wee bit, but I don't use that one anyway. But yeah, absolutely adore these brushes, and these brushes were about $20 for a set of these ones and a whole bunch of kind of little ones as well. So really cheap, and they really do a good job. So you've got a couple more. I don't really know what I use these ones for. I kind of just pick them up occasionally if I'm doing, I don't know, like trying to sweep stuff away. I don't even know what I use those ones for. They just kind of sit there. Elf angled blush brush, and at this stage I don't have a fan brush, which is just annoying the hell out of me, and I have to get one. So I normally just use this brush for my highlighter, which is a bit dense than, like, a bit more dense than what I would like, because it packs it on a little bit too much. But I mean, it still does the trick, and it's actually really quite nice. I don't know how I'd use it for a blush brush. I'm just too used to my big fluffy one or my eye brushes. Now I cannot seriously like exaggerate enough how important it is. Like, this might look like a lot. This is not a lot. A lot of people have like 3 of these, and you know what? I need more. This isn't enough. So I calculated in like one eye look, I'll use about 6 different eyeshadow brushes maybe, if not more. So I mean, that sounds like a lot, but it's not. I mean, if you're working with like 3 colours and you have one for each colour, and then you need one for blending, and then, you know, I've got a few of the Real Techniques ones that came in the set, like I spoke about. Got a bunch here. Most of them I don't even use though, to be honest, again. I did use them a lot when I first got them, but I've moved on to find better brushes that work for me. So these are the eye brushes here. That's your base eyeshadow one there, which is really quite fluffy for a base packer on. That's not what it's called, that's what we're going to call it. So yeah, that's a little bit fluffy. So I mean, and this is our deluxe crease brush, which is really fat, really quite dense. I much prefer doing a crease with a fluffy brush. It makes the colour disperse a lot better. You know, it just yeah, that's not very good. And then I've got a whole bunch of these other little ones that I barely ever use. I've got a brow brush that again is way too big. Like, that's just, look how much of it is, like, whoa, I don't know, it's too big. And you know, just a bunch of others. They were really good to start with, but they're definitely not something that I kind of reach for on a regular basis. And of course I've got all the little Urban Decay brushes as well. If you buy a palette from Urban Decay, you often get their brushes, which are good. I don't really reach for them again either. They're kind of all a little bit different. I hate that they're double-ended because you don't know which end to stick them in the thing because it might ruin it. But yeah, I often use the flat eyeshadow brushes. That's for packing. These are really good for packing. And yeah, so I mean, those are there. And then I have my other juice up brushes that I got with that whole $20 bunch that I spoke about before. Don't really use these a heck of a lot either. I tend to use one for concealer, and I kind of use one for blending sometimes. Like, they're quite fluffy, so I mean, one's not very fluffy, the pointed one's not very fluffy. But I mean, a couple of these you can use for blending, but they are a little bit probably dense for that. But you know, I do pull it off sometimes. Yeah, next lot of brushes, these were the second lot that I actually ever purchased, and these are the Eco Tools brushes. And this was from iHerb also. So this is the Eco Tools. This was like the eye kit. It came with like 5 brushes. I'm still kind of mixed about this brush set. I really enjoy the, what is this one? The names are rubbed off. I think this is the highlighting brush, but it's really fluffy. So I often use that for a crease brush or a blending brush because it's really fluffy. So that's really good. And there's a couple more little like petite eye shading and smudge. Yeah, you know, just like little ones that you'd use for like little bits of detail. I often pull out a couple of these to do my inner tear duct. And then the angled crease, which I would never use for a crease. I think I tried and it was just too, again, just too thick, too stiff. It packs on way too much colour no matter how hard you try. And then you have the large eye, which is like a large eye, like it's my whole entire eye. Never really use that one because it's just too big. I think that set was about maybe $15 maybe in New Zealand. But I've saved my favourite till last, and these are by far the cheapest and to me by far the best. These are the e.l.f. like $1 line brushes. So these are about $2.50 New Zealand. These are freaking amazing. Like, I really like these brushes. My favourite brush is definitely the eye blending brush. To me, this brush is perfect for blending. It's perfect for applying a crease colour, or you know, blending other other colours out. I just absolutely love this brush, and I also am in love with the eyeshadow brush from the Dollar line as well. It's quite short, really you know, quite thick in bristles, so it really packs really well. I've got more of these ones coming because I love them so much, and they're so cheap. And to be honest, most of the time in daily looks, these are kind of the only ones I'll go for. Like, I'll probably need one eyeshadow and maybe like 3 or 4 blending, maybe 3. You know, you can wash them in between if you have to. And then I've also got the eye crease brush, which I'm not too much of a fan of because it's just a little bit, I mean, it works, but it's a little bit too sparse, you know what I mean? And then the smudge, which is quite handy as well, which is like it's just like the confused, it's a smudge. And that's the eyeshadow. They're very similar ones, just a little bit smaller. And the, oh god, I just looked at this, I'm getting them all confused. And then there was an angled as well, a defining eye brush, which I do sometimes use, which is quite good to get the V. And definitely a really good line. I kind of wish I started with these ones. Definitely good line, love these ones. And then I've got a couple of other bits and bobs, like random ones. So that's pretty much all the brushes that I use. And the majority of where I got purchased them from is from iHerb.com and also beautyjoint.com. Beautyjoint.com is like turning into one of my favorite websites of all time. So that's like pretty much just, I don't know if that answered anybody's questions. I had a friend of mine asked me a lot of questions about brushes, so I told her I'd do this video. I don't know if this has actually answered any questions whatsoever. It probably hasn't. So yeah, brushes are really important. You don't have to pay a lot of money for brushes. Like, I'm sure they're really top. Not one. I'm blabbering now. Anywho, I hope this video helped, and I hope there's something in here that you can take away from. Fizzling out. Okay, bye guys.